Peace and blessings, family. What's up with all the daydreamers out there? Please live it. Don't sleep through this thing. Welcome back to another episode of The Pour Over, where we pour over into you some words of encouragement to not only get you through one of your days, but we're trying to get you through life. Let's get through life, shawty. Shall we? So in our youth group, we're talking about identity, right? That's the theme for the whole year, right? That's the focus for the whole year, rather. And our theme for the whole year is identity crisis versus identity Christ is, right? So we're talking about identity. And I want to share with you part of the dialogue that me and my young folks had in regards to identity and everything like that. And this whole month has been nothing but discussion, right? We're no structured lesson, just structured questions to get them to have a dialogue and talk. I told the leadership, let's just ask questions, sit back, let them talk, right? And here's something that I fished out of it that was really intriguing to me during the conversation. So I asked the young people, what is a real identity? And then I also asked them what a fake identity was. Now, I asked them what the fake identity was before I asked them what a real identity was. And of course, why, right? Why are people this way? Why do people present themselves as whatever, right? And I didn't say it like that. And so when it came down to the fake identity question, everybody's hands went up, right? Everybody had something to say. Everybody was speaking, talking, giving their input, throwing it out there and everything like that. I mean, they was going in, shouting. And I actually had to be like, all right, last input so that we can go ahead and move on to the next question, right? But I noticed that when I asked them about the real identity and what's a real identity, what makes a real identity, they was very slow to answer. Took them a minute. Not only that, not as many people raised their hand to speak about what a real identity was. They really had a lot to say about fake identity, but they didn't have a lot to say about the real identity. And this is what I took away from that. When they was talking about the fake identity, it was all external, because they weren't talking about themselves. Everybody else is fake. I'm real. I got a thought about fake people because I know fake people when I see them. I've engaged with, I've talked with, interacted with, I live with fake people. I see them a mile away. And so I can break it down and because it's all external. But baby, when it became internal, what is a real person? It wasn't that they was analyzing externally. No, now they're having to look at themselves in the mirror. Watch this versus everything they said about fake people. Because I have to answer this question about what a real person is, but do I really know what a real person is? Because have I met a real person in the mirror I wake up to every single day? You see, my point is, it's easy to analyze, overanalyze, break down, compare, contrast, and be fixated on all the flaws and jacked upness of other people. They're fake, I'm not. But then when it comes time for you to truly be faced with analyzing yourself, not as being fake, but as being real, you can't help but weigh it up against everything that you said about everybody else, because you have to cautiously answer the question so you don't step on a landmine and your peers look at you and say, you're nothing like that. Everything you said about real, that ain't you. Some of the stuff you said about fake, that's you. Because remember last year when you, on your social media post, when you stated and said, what's my point? Every man needs to take heed lest he fall. It's easy to look at the external. It's very hard to really truly analyze the internal. And that's what our young people ran into that Saturday, that brick wall of having to face the image in the mirror when talking about what's real. So they had to slow down a little bit because they had to cautiously make sure that when they talked about real, their life didn't contradict what they're saying about being real versus what they said about being fake. But if they're honest with themselves, they'll realize that for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. No man is perfect in the eyesight of God. Even our righteous acts are filthy rags before him. When you hit that brick wall and you realize that you're not perfect, it humbles you extremely fast. Much love and respect. Y'all be safe out there. This your boy Sleep. Don't get in no trouble out there. Peace.